Out of all the game companies that have entered this space, Phoenix Games has always been one that stands out more than the rest. I don't think there is any other studio that has made me as speechless as this one has, so I wanted to challenge myself. Out of their amazing catalog of over 100 games, I'm going to pick 10 at random to see if I can find one that is decent or even playable. I tried to put as much variety in as possible, different genres and games people haven't talked about to death, like Snow White and the Seven Clever Boys or Animal World Soccer. This is going to be a serious, raw look at these games. I can't promise there will be a lot to say about some of them, but I'll give them a quick 1 out of 10 rating on the Phoenix scale and move on to the next exhilarating experience. I got my cup of poison ready, and I don't think I have ever been so happy to waste my time like this. I thought starting with a classic genre, racing, would be perfect. Everyone loves a good automobile, and Doomsday Racers is going to deliver just that. It looks like this is one of those titles Phoenix got help with. Mere mortals entertainment, huh? There's a bunch of little sperms flying around, so surely this must be a good sign. We have 3 different cups to participate in, the Neutron, Gamma, and Galactic Cups. How exciting. I can already see they are hitting it out of the park with this one. There's like 7 cars and none of them have any statistical differences. You'd kind of figure that's important for a game where you're just driving around a track doing the same thing over and over again, just to add a little bit of variety in there, but who wants that? Out of the bunch, this mod GT is really screaming out to me, so I'm going with this bad Larry. And we're off. Look at this. This is fucking insane, isn't it? Just driving on a straight pathway, having a turn here and there. They truly nailed down racing. Now, in the loading screen, I saw a missile and a car exploding, so I'm not too sure what that was about. It doesn't look like there's anything remotely close to that going on here. Nothing is spelling Doomsday about this. Well, aside from me flipping over and getting stuck for 20 seconds before the game remembered to reorient me, that is obviously incredibly Doomsday. And let me just take a second to ask a question. What year do you think this released in? 2005. We had multiple Gran Turismos, Need for Speed games, Midnight Club, all released at this point, and then we have this. I'm going to read you the description of Doomsday Racers verbatim. This is what I read to decide on picking this game first, and you tell me if it lines up with this stellar experience. Doomsday Racer is an aggressive, no-holds-barred race game with the emphasis on ruthless and aggressive driving. It combines high-speed racing action with daring maneuvers and devious tactics, set in a dramatic and treacherous post-apocalyptic environment. The race only has one rule: get to the finish line alive before anyone else, and you are the winner. Smash your opponents from the track, race ahead with the help of strategically placed boost pads, or stick to good old-fashioned driving skills. Just do whatever it takes to survive Doomsday. 12 custom-built futuristic vehicles to choose from, 9 post-apocalyptic tracks, testing tracks, complete with boost pads and perilous hazards, devious AI competitors to try and outwit. Fucking end quote. I don't know what that's all about, but the one thing I can say is this. If a post-apocalyptic world just looks like me driving through the Grand Canyon, I don't think I'm scared of a nuclear war anymore, so this gets an easy 9 out of 10 on the Phoenix scale for alleviating my worries about a world-ending war. Thank you Doomsday Racers and Phoenix Games for all the hard work you put in. Racing is fun, but let's get a little action in the building. KO King. And this right here is an all-time Phoenix classic. There is another game made by EA called Knockout Kings, which is also a boxing game. So what these guys like to do is find a way to name their game similar to another one that is more popular and hope a grandma or grandpa buys it for their grandchild. At least in this case, it can help them learn. With all these great fun facts we get in the loading screens, evidence suggests that box was prevalent in North Africa during 4000 BC and the Mediterranean in 1500 BC. Cool. These are my fighters here. No one has names, stats, or anything, just mean mugging. I decided to go with the guy who looks like he's taking a toilet selfie, with only 2 opponents that are willing to face me in battle, McClellan and Karmazin. Karmazin has the higher overall, so he will be my ticket to get up the ranks. I picked my professional ring to fight in. The crowd's looking ecstatic tonight, only 2 frames of animation on them. Maybe if I get higher up the ranks, they'll go up to 3. Ding ding, we're on. And this is where I think you need to be fully enveloped into the experience and truly immerse yourself into the action. Listen to these effects real quick. How are you not hooked? My punches are going straight through Karmazin. Occasionally I'll just freeze and not be able to move or attack anymore. But I'm persevering. When you enter this sport, you're always told to learn from your failures, and that's exactly what I did. Instead of pressing both triangle and square to switch it up, I just started pressing triangle only. This guy is getting 2 donuts and a 2 from the judges, while I'm getting all 10s. Slowly but surely, I am becoming unstoppable. And yes, Karmazin did punch me so hard I glitched through the ropes in that same round I got my ratings, but that's okay. Round 4, he went to sleep thanks to my medicated mitts, making me go up the card. Look at this top meat. Burnt Macaroni Brock Lesnar has an overall of 116. That's where my eyes would be headed if there was anything more to do than just pressing the triangle button. It may be a really stupid question to ask, but was this game even tested? You can barely make jokes about this material. Like, what is anyone even going to say about this? I'm standing here, punching a smoothed out Brian Fury, repeatedly pressing triangle. I might as well change this to can you beat KO King only pressing triangle. The move is clearly overtuned and needs to be nerfed. And you want to know what's funny about this whole situation? There is another game I have played from Phoenix Games called World Wrestling Championship that I assume was trying to emulate WCW with the name. But that game is basically KO Kings, similar models, stages, animations, and gameplay. The only difference is being able to grapple people, which is ironically pointless, and pressing triangle is the best tactic you can do there too. They essentially repackaged whichever one came out first and released it again with a different name. Fucking genius. Why aren't more people doing this? However, the one thing I can say about my KO Kings experience is that I did play enough to become whatever the first champion is called. Unfortunately, I got no celebration or anything, but I can tell my mom that I'm a champion in KO Kings, so that's great for me. Now for the rating on the Phoenix scale, KO Kings doesn't even have an aura. Like, I'm not feeling like I'm there or learning a lesson, not even alleviating my mind on some sort of war. 2 out of 10 aura game. They really dropped the ball on this one. This could have been a classic. We're gonna look at Crazy Golf. I couldn't even come up with a transition, just look at the cover art. What is anyone supposed to say when they see this? I feel like I need to mention, again, there is another game called Crazy Golf World Tour that released shortly before this game did in 2005 that was not developed by Phoenix, so I'm guessing that's where the name came from. And believe me, I get it, I understand, the name Crazy Golf is really hard to come up with on your own. Not many people can do it, so I don't blame Phoenix for stealing that one. It's really tough in these streets. Here begins my quest to become the world's most prolific golfer by picking this very sad looking dog. How can the shark be so happy but the dog is so sad? And that's just what I love about Phoenix Games. The detail is just fucking nutty buddy, dude. These people just understand how to build that connection, teaching us all how to be humans. This is the type of content I look for. Another piece of content that I look for is games that don't fuck up the controls in golf, a game that uses like 3 buttons. Somehow they actually managed to pull that off. For whatever unknown reason, you need to move the right analog stick down, then like slowly move it to the left, hoping you get the power you want, which is unbelievably difficult thanks to how sensitive it is. And finally, you push up with the same stick when you think your charge is good. You can easily climb over this obstacle by just having the bar go up and down on its own for the player to time it when they feel the moment is right. 1 button press to activate the power bar, 1 button to swing. There's no need for this intergalactic control scheme. Even the dog gets pissed at it. But I think the biggest question that's on all of our minds is, how is this dog alive? We are fully submerged underwater. How is he breathing? What did he do to deserve this? I guess that's where the crazy part comes in. So I'll give him that. You guys fucked up the controls on golf, which requires talent in of itself, but you also really put the crazy in the game with this dog being able to breathe underwater. Phoenix scale, you deserve a 5 out of 10. If there was no crazy, it would be a 1 out of 10, but we found the crazy, so it gets points for that. Do you like running? I don't. Xtreme Sprint 3010, opening with a sick-ass cutscene. It looks like it's from a fucking horror game, like Jesus Christ. To follow the outlines of every other Phoenix game, we have a tournament mode that I'm absolutely stoked for. starting myself in the Red League with 3 characters at my choosing, Gundobad, Temerian, and Cinnabar. I'm not even going to comment on the names, but why do we need to keep unlocking characters that have no statistical differences? Do these guys not understand the basic principle of unlocking things in games with tedious designs? I don't even know why I'm questioning them. I start my race, and we are basically playing what elementary school students do after watching an episode of Wipeout on the TV. This time, there's just a giant steamroller with spikes on it chasing after us. We are given the absolute honor of having not only 1, but 2 buttons to press while playing, keeping us locked in. You roll, and you jump. It's practically impossible to lose, and you need to finish 3 laps of this per race, which they expect me to finish 15 of. I really don't like to talk down to the almighty Phoenix Games, but Bob is my witness. If you could bottle this game up and sell it on shelves, you could put NyQuil out of business. The second race, I almost fell asleep playing. It took me 7.5 minutes to finish 3 laps. I actually almost fell asleep in broad daylight because of it. You could pay someone an hourly wage to play this, and I guarantee they would still decline the offer. Phoenix scale, I was gonna give you a 0, but with the intro porcelain doll thing running around, I'll give you a point for that, 1 out of 10. A lot of people like animals, some like them a little bit too much, and this game is for those individuals. Furry Tales. And to be serious, no sarcasm for a second, these games have all been dog shit, but this one actually gave me hope. Never was I expecting a game called Furry Tales to do that, but it did. When you start listening to the story, question marks will arise. We're being told that the Wolf Nation was birthed and designed to exterminate its hereditary enemy, the Sheep Tribe. You then see a little drawing of them holding machine guns and bringing a tank over, meaning serious shit, and we are introduced to the heroes of our story, these 3 members of the sheep family, where we are then tossed into an RTS game where you command sheep to kill a bunch of wolves. If you aren't an RTS fan of like StarCraft or Command & Conquer, it's not going to resonate, and for those who are fans, I'm not even going to say this game rivals those, but it's actually fun. This is actually a video game. I can call this a game. It has a little bit of a twist in comparison to other RTS games. We play as the girl sheep character, Lydia, going through various missions where she can bitch slap people and even destroy structures doing it. As you go, there's a couple other playable characters, like this big sheep that can pound these wolves on motorcycles, shooting me with shotguns right into the ground. I'm blowing the wolves' bases to Kingdom Come with missiles, creating a mass destructive sheep army that is going to level this entire goddamn planet in a heartbeat. I'm seriously enjoying this. I have never been able to say I am stunned or even impressed to see a game with thought and creativity put into it one time in my life, but I am right now, mainly because it has the Phoenix Games logo on it. This is a fun game, you can't even rip on it. I got more footage than I even need, which is more than I can say about any game I've played so far. Typically, I find myself looking at the minutes I have recorded so I can shut it off as soon as possible. So good on you, Phoenix. This is a 10 out of 10 on the scale, no question. You give me a game that lets me create an army of animals to kill a bunch of people, say less, I'm on it. Best game ever made. I think after all this time is the moment for the Phoenix Games trademark, the animated fun, we'll call it. And before I even delve into Son of the Lion King, the one I chose, we need to talk about these things for a second. I mentioned 2 of them earlier, Snow White and the 7 Clever Boys and Animal World Soccer. They are both horrifically animated, and I use that loosely, cartoons. One follows the classic, trying to ape from a more popular franchise. The other is their own creation, which was a lot more rare to see when it came to these animation things. Because the whole idea that Phoenix Games had while making these is trying to rip off a franchise. We got stuff like Dalmatians 3, Hercules with a K, Hansel and Gretel, Peter Pan, Mighty Mulan, Dinosaur Adventure, which is clearly Land Before Time. All of these have the same goal of trying to trick an unknowing person into buying them, thinking it's the actual IP they know. And to add even more gas to the bicycle, these are all essentially the same exact game. What we have included is 4 minigames, 2 puzzles, a coloring book, and a matching game, then of course the cartoon experience. So for Son of the Lion King here, I'm not going to go through this story, like does anyone actually care? I would assume not. It's literally just a lion whose name I forget, looking for diamonds for his dad with the evil Black Panthers getting involved to do the same thing. So instead, I just wanted to put some highlights in here of how much effort was stuck into this. It seriously is an experience like none other.
Help! Help! Look at that. My son is hunting other animals. You were supposed to watch him so that he doesn't get up to any nonsense. Bring him back.
Look around? For whom are you looking around for?
I'm just talking in general.
I don't believe you. You look like the bad Black Panther who used to lie again and again.
My father doesn't lie.
Your father, the Black Panther, is your father? I'll tell you what. That was quite near.
Yeah, it was.
Nothing can happen to us here, can it?
Fucking amazing voice acting. One take, that's it. Any more work is just way too much. And I don't blame him. With perfect delivery like that, who needs a second? If you are seriously looking for like the best quality animation you can get from a Phoenix game, I can't believe I'm saying it, but the best is Snow White and the Seven Clever Boys. It clearly rivals Disney, and yes, there is a blatantly racist character in there, but it's perfectly fine. All Phoenix was trying to do is show people how not woke they are. All I can say out of my time playing Son of the Lion King is that I just colored this picture. I tried my best to make an ultimate battle with fire and brimstone, but I can only work with what they give me. Next time, Phoenix, give me a free pencil tool and I'll make the greatest thing this world has ever seen. If you were curious, I did swallow the pill in its entirety. I finished everything. I'm unstoppable at this matching game. I even got the world record for it, thanks to me being the only person who has ever played this game, and I completed a puzzle with a bunch of monkeys on it. It was a pretty successful day. I think this goes without saying, but these are all really pathetic. If any child got this as a Christmas gift, that is next level depressing, and I would have RKO'd my grandma straight through a fucking table if I was in those shoes. It's just so hard to close this out because what do you even say about any of that stuff? Especially Sonny, the man of the hour, a blatantly racist character like that existing in a game from 2006 is just unbelievable. How, and more importantly, why did Sony approve of that? If I'm speaking purely on Son of the Lion King though, I'm gonna give it a 1 out of 10 on the Phoenix scale. It only gets a point for the elbow grease stuck in. I'm a massive fan of how the voices did not line up with the characters' mouths moving in the cartoon. It really added to the experience. And what does one do after watching some child-friendly cartoons in the morning? Play a space shooter. I got Space Rebellion here. Wow, I know this was only 8 years after Star Fox 64, and emulating what they did there is pretty difficult, especially on better hardware, so this is really impressive. I was going to question if this would be fun or not, but I can't even live for more than a minute to figure that out. The second I spawn in, a missile is coming at me, sending my poor ship careening towards the ground. Even when I do this dodge roll, I still die, so fuck it. We have a bonus game. Combat Ace. Let's check this awesome game out. It's literally the same game. The animations, gameplay, textures, and everything. The only difference is how these sprites are swapped around. Now that takes talent. At least I beat a level. I wasn't getting clobbered in the first few seconds, so I have something to my name. Call me Captain, holy fuck. But come on guys, like we need something new. We can't always keep repackaging the same game and changing the name. Can we get an original one? Actually we can. Bonus game number 2. It's called Obliterate, a game where I am dragging a cursor on the screen to shoot M&Ms parachuting from the sky. Only 2 buttons needed. This is a real game you could buy in a store, by the way. You can get a physical disc that you can stick into a real PlayStation 2 with this on it. If you're questioning how far I got, I did conquer Earth, the one goal that makes sense, and I love seeing these guys trying to add a story to this. You saved Earth, now you must chase the aliens across the galaxy. Earth's brainiest scientists have managed to find a weakness in one of the alien species. Oh really? What could it be? Don't shoot the blue blobs. And now I'm in space. Can these games even get a rating on the Phoenix scale? I think I found the first 0 on the list. There's no aura to any of them, just question marks. I say moldy donut out of 10. You know what? Actually, Obliterate can get a 2 out of 10 because it has M&Ms and no other game has ever featured them before. Oh wait, they do have a game. Never mind then. Alright, what's next? Xtreme Speed. You know this game is cool with a K because they removed the E from Extreme. And yes, this is a second racing game, but I wanted to make up for Doomsday Racers. I don't feel like that was worthy enough for anyone's eyes. The quality was terrible, the gameplay was atrocious. Xtreme Speed, on the other hand, is like a game. It does feel like I'm driving a go-kart from Canopy Lake Park, little grid-ass driving. I'm not joking, this is unreasonably stiff for no reason, but at this point, I will take it. When I see a game that can hold its own in the graphics department and think to myself, I can play this, I can move, I can do something, that is how low the bar is now for my interest to be piqued. I'm not gonna pretend this is special or anything. I'd still prefer maybe a Need for Speed High Stakes on the PlayStation 1, or anything else for that matter, but if you have a fetish for the automobile and you enjoy racing games with really stiff controls, and again for the 900th time, the ability to unlock cars with no statistical differences, this game is for you. I wasn't joking in the beginning when I told you some of these games don't have much to say about them. Phoenix scale, 4 out of 10, not much aura, but it's playable, so it deserves at least a few points, and now I can go back to my blissful life of not remembering what this game was, and start grinding out my new passion in gaming of beat-em-ups, with Street Warrior being my all-time favorite. 6 completely new characters, none of them have been seen in a previous title before, and on top of this, Phoenix is blessing us with a story. I sure as shit have the Orville Redenbachers ready for this one. City of West Bay. In recent years, corruption crime rate has grown very fast, and government is unable to secure the city anymore. Streets were overtaken by criminals, and the city is ruled by merciless, cruel gangs. In desperate need to fight back, government gathers the best of the best and creates a special unit called Strike Force. One of the Strike Force agents, nicknamed Bulldog, along with his team, is sent to the streets with a mission to restore order. You couldn't have better material to write a story. I mean, who is Bulldog? Which one of these unnamed characters fits the bill? Is it him? Maybe the story is in our hands. Games like Minecraft are incredibly popular these days. Phoenix must have been laying the groundwork for creative freedom. Build your own universe and story, using fists and feet only. Fucking hell. Take a look at this fun game here. Enemy by enemy, my power level increases, channeling the inner glitchy kick. Seriously, if you hold forward and press the infamous triangle button, your leg extends then disappears immediately afterwards. It seems to put in serious work against the never-ending groups of 2 enemies at a time. They can try as they will, Bulldog cannot be stopped. Well, sort of. If they decide to pull off one of their grappling techniques of spiking my head onto the pavement, I can't block or do anything, I'm just forced to wait. Can I do it myself? No, I can't. But I will persevere. After the few lackluster entries in the Phoenix Games extravaganza, I need to redeem myself by trying to finish at least one of them. I don't want to let the Strike Force down. Government is relying on me here. This mentality went pretty well at first. I was pulverizing everyone with a beating heart who dared to step up to me. Even this strange-looking BDSM-suited gentleman. It doesn't matter who it is. Nobody can stop the glitchy kick from whatever fucking planet this game takes place on. As I was going, I was shocked to see Phoenix were dedicated enough to have multiple story screens. I thought one was too much to ask for, but apparently they really knuckled in here. Does any of it matter? Nope, it just keeps talking about how Bulldog is falsely accused of committing crimes and has a friend named Snake who is going to help me, but never does. And it would honestly be great if this Snake character did help, because level 7 is like impossible. No matter what I do, I cannot win. It seems these street gangs activated a hidden technique of making my attacks go right through people and stop dealing any damage. Even the glitchy kick. This subway bathroom appears to be an impasse that I cannot conquer. I tried for a lot longer than I should have, and I still can't win. It's one of the most bizarre difficulty spikes I've ever seen. Only if Snake was here, then maybe this would be possible. The more you play, the more you realize street gangs will always win. Phoenix truly outdid themselves with this one. It does seem like real effort was put in here. They had multiple story cutscenes and even power-ups. When people go to church, this must be the hope everyone is talking about within those 4 walls. 8 out of 10 on the Phoenix scale. Energy, soul, and passion was stuck into each and every segment, plus there was a Snake mention, making everything come full circle. After playing racing, beat-em-ups, space shooters, RTS games, golf, what is the best move to make? playing a compilation that has 100 games on it. Some people on the streets have deemed this as the unofficial sequel to Action 52. Dynamite 100 is no joke, and no, I'm not going to painstakingly go through every single one, but rather show how this game in of itself encapsulates Phoenix Games as a company. If you start from number 1, the game is called Pingus, by the way, a word I have not heard since the YouTube poop days.
Snooping as usual, I see.
This is literally just Pong. Instead of shooting a square ball around, we're just bouncing a cheese ball back and forth. Game number 2 is Falling Bricks, aka a poor man's Tetris. In fact, they separate all of these games into categories. The first 10 are all Pong and Tetris knockoff games. 11 through 20 are what you call missile games. Like, we really have a more dysfunctional version of Missile Command on this thing. A game from fucking 1980, by the way. 21 through 30 were like a bunch of random eating games. Like, and just look at this game right here. That's not even doctored. The game is just this laggy. How much fucking horsepower does this thing need? There's a game called Box where we play as what I think are hands pushing each other into walls. And in this one, I'm just playing as a circle, just grabbing balls, avoiding a bunch of other balls trying to kill me. Dynamite 100 is just a bunch of games that are so low effort, you can barely call them games. Hence why I said it encapsulates the company who made it. It's astounding this is real, like this is a real game. Every one of these things were a real game that someone could purchase in a store. Phoenix Games has to be the most perplexing and mind-blowing studio to ever exist. Who was in the studio, some may say? Nobody. Like, did you see this shit? I did try to do a bit of research. Of course, finding their website on the Wayback Machine with the legendary quote of "Welcome to the world of value for money games." And this specific page reads, "The complete collection of premium budget product on these fast-moving formats will be successfully sold through the many thousands of retail outlets offering quick turnover consumer goods, where the general public does its everyday convenient shopping, such as 24-hour stores, news agents, garage shops, etc. Marketing the ranges through these diverse outlets means they will get high exposure, and this will result in high sales levels." This company is quite literally TikTok AI generated trash before it even existed. But it gets even worse, especially when they have the audacity to say this on their public website. Although the ranges will be sold at a low retail price of $6.99, $8.99, and $9.99 respectively, they will not be short on quality. The retail price points are incredibly competitive considering the quality of the content. This together with the eye-catching packaging represents exceptional value for money. I don't know if I'm misinterpreting this here, but are they trying to say it's shit or are they trying to say it's good? I actually don't even know. I'm thinking they're trying to say it's good. I mean, they're trying to say this is eye-catching. I mean, yeah, I guess sure, it does definitely stand out, we can say that much. This company is just unreal. I played 10 of these things with only a 10% success rate of finding a game that is not hot ass. Furry Tales, I'll stand by it, not bad at all. The rest, complete waste of time. It's not even an Action 52 situation where it's funny to play it yourself. Outside of the cartoons, because the voice acting and delivery is gold in those, the games are just boring or just awful. This company just existed to poop out a product as fast as possible and hope to make money. Like, these people literally brag on their site of how short their development time is. The more I played these games, the more I feel like I'm in an alternate reality where this stuff is accepted. You should not be bragging about that. This is horrible. All I can say now is I'm glad this torture is done and over with. If you somehow made it to the end, thank you for watching. Consider subscribing and be sure to share your thoughts about these awesome games down in the comments below. Check out my last video on Ride to Hell Retribution if you're interested in more trash. As always, take very good care of yourselves, and I hope to see you all again in the next video.